All right, what's going on, Coin Observatory? I just going live on Facebook as well. The title of the stream is pretty grand, right? It's a big title. It's the Bitcoin signal you can't afford to miss. Why am I saying that? Before diving into the chart now, I just want to highlight a previous example. What's up, Paris? I published this. This is a little over a year old, March 31st, 2019. All right, you guys see that? We had a very similar setup. If I can get this to load, there you go. We had a very similar setup. And we long 38.55 on a gap fill, right? And I think we're seeing a scenario very much similar to what we're seeing now, right? A lot on the chart is screaming the same. There's a little bit of a CME gap below. We don't quite have like the perfect formation with a retest, but I do think that, you know, once this CME gap currently fills, we're headed up, right? I think BTC's headed up. I think it's bullish, and the gap's going to present a good opportunity here. You know, 38.55 was the long, 38.25 was the stop, and then a few days later we entered a bull run, right? If you wanna read this old article, finishes off really nicely. Where was it? Another market edge theory that we're not willing to disclose as our bullish target of 47. More importantly, 4 p.m. Good mark, new beginnings for the crypto market, right? And that was Sunday, and then 2 days later, the market rallied, right? So where are we now? We're looking at a similar setup, right? Like you don't see all the formations on it, but I do have faith in this gap, right? I'm not looking to add long until we get there. It's just remove drawings, clean this up, go back on like a 5 minute. See where this gap actually is. Around 9,300, right? I do think that is where this current retracement is headed, right? That's based on the gap. And ironically, you know, if you guys are in VIP, you probably saw these fractals, right? Where like the current daily, this daily setup right here is like an exact mirror of the daily setup before the bull run, right? Right, what's on the left is the exact mirror of what's going to be on the right here shortly. So let me center this so you guys can see it. Right, so man, maybe if I do that, there you go. All right, so we're seeing like the exact same fractal, just slightly reversed. And yeah, so you know, I don't think we're gonna go back below 9. If we do go back below 9, that's gonna be pretty bearish. Catching up, Delilah, Santa Fe, what's up, guys? Mr. Crypto, Katrina, thank you all for tuning in, right? So hopping in like, you know, Phantom on the 5. I think that's where the signal is. It's also saying, well, it's saying 91.45. Maybe it was the 15. Still at that 9K. What chart was it? One of my charts was signaling. Okay, it was the Coinbase one, right? And I was talking about Coinbase versus XBT today in VIP because they were giving me different 61.8s because one's a margin exchange, the other one is not, right? So I want to see it move down to this zone. I want to see it move down to like 93.70, 90, you know, some wicks below. And when we get a turn here, if it's on good volume, I do think that's going to be the leverage long, right? If we see how, you know, how reliable this has been fairly reliable, right? Now, you know, one thing that's kind of working against it is There's a little bit of a bull flag that's retesting, but I think the gap, right, like it's got to fill. It hasn't filled. It's really close to filling. Price has formed a little bit of a bull flag. I'm just gonna highlight it, and it looks like we're retesting the flag. Looks like we already did. I want to see price puncture it, right? I want to see price go a little lower, just a little lower, to add long, because right now I'm just hedged, right? If this thing breaks out, I'll stop out the shorts and let the longs run, but I'm ready to add long, slightly lower. Yeah, we got a pretty active crowd on YouTube. Facebook guys got a few, but they're not very active. You guys on YouTube are crushing it. So yeah, we're seeing a little cup and a handle, doing it again. The only hesitation of longing now or adding long now is this gap, right? It's got to fill. And one thing I was saying over the weekend, let it run up. I think it was like 10-200 on the 15, right? 10-1, 10-2. I was like, let it run up. We'll short up here and come down for gap fill, but we have not filled it yet, right? We could go slightly below 80, 89, and then pull back up. The whole idea is, I'm not bidding there, and you guys are asking me, hey, do you just place bids? I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. I want to see volume come in. I want to see bulls fight back. You don't want to catch a knife up here and, have the chart sell off further. That's what I have for BTC, right? My targets from last week, they're still the same. If we break up, I do think 10-6, and let me go ahead and redraft those, right? So, think, oh, that's BTC1. Let's go to Coinbase. The 61.8 played out on the Coinbase chart, right? For the 10K short. Now it's like, going for the extension targets, right? So I don't think 12.3 is too far up. I do think definitely it's a possibility. And then the next target's going to be the bigger extension, which is like 16-17. So I still think those numbers are definitely in play. Thank you, Mr. Crypto. I think that about covers BTC. If you guys have questions about price action or BTC, please drop them now. I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to the S&P. I had said that this was a bear trap, right? For you guys in VIP, I did signal to long the SPXL, which should be up like 180% if you started buying when I started buying. And I'd mentioned that down here, right? Before the break, it's some of this nice up volume, and yeah, anybody that shorted into the weekend, right? Friday's shorts or today's liquidations, or they were today's liquidations. We did pull some profits off this. Mentioned, at least the third, and let's see what happens with this gap, and then also a little hedge play. How do you see volume come in? What time frame? 1 hour. I have a workshop on volume. Watch the workshop. Those types of things are recorded in real time, right? So if you can watch that workshop, that's why it's there. It's cataloged. Sorry for not answering that on stream. I'm just gonna highlight it real quick. Like if you're looking for volume to come in on a knife, you want to see reflexivity. And some people might laugh at like, oh, this guy's looking at 5-minute chart volume, but it does tell a story. Let me go ahead and like make these a little brighter. Watch the workshop. I'm trying to find the perfect example right now. Ether, right? I mentioned I had updated Ether today, and I said we're likely going to come down 208. All right, just because I'm expecting BTC to pull back. I was also expecting ETH USD to pull back, remove drawings. We did have like a false breakout. All right, it was here. I do think this has the possibility of coming down to 208. Let's just add phantom to it. All right, so phantom wanted that short, and I do think if 210 goes, we're going down to 207, 208, which is also that linear support, and that should send it back up. Conversely, right, where is this in terms of a retracement? And I'm not trying to chop ether too much, right? I'm not trying to trade, like over trade it, right? We're back at this 61. I mean, last long was at 193, right? And our last ether long was here. We caught that long, you know, let it run, right? Let it run. If you didn't hedge, you know, maybe add it 207 or move your stop up to like 203. I don't see a drop below 89, Delilah. I just mentioned where I think it's going to turn. I could, but I'm not betting on it, right? Alright guys, show me some tokens. Another one of our longs, ETH BTC. Let's go to the 120. Alright, we currently, you know, we took this long right off Phantom. It's like maybe the next day. I'm not sure what I was doing when it was pinging. But then now we're above this midline. I want to see price stay above this midline, right? If we get any continuation, then we're likely going up to 0.236. And something about the 2-hour phantom, right? You know, sometimes the sell signals play off, and other times you just get a blast off, right? So taking this long was pretty good. You should be up like, I don't know what leverage you're on, but you know, if you're on cross, right, you should be up like at least 120 or 170. Thanks, Marshall. What else do we have? I mentioned gold was gonna break out, right? And then it kind of did this thing, and then it stopped, right? Phantom wanted a short. So do you think now it's in like liquidity grab mode? If you're in long back here, right, then, you know, if you're long over here, stop at entry by all means. But if it comes down to like 1648, that is the, you know, that's where liquidity is on the pennant. That's where one would want to enter this trade for a continuation. Okay, that's the buy the dip signal. The 4-hour, right, looks pretty good from here all the way up. I think BKJ took this trade from down here, so should be up a good 20%. You know, on gold, that's in a short period of time, and look at 2 months, it's pretty fantastic. All right, looks like we got some altcoin requests. Going over link. Yeah, I'd want to see like 34.89, just a little lower, or 30. You see it, right? Last time around it didn't quite come down. Maybe the 2-hour. Was that Microsoft? Yeah. Yeah, I'd want to see it come down and shake out longs and then go for that run. Going over Tezos. Thanks for the suggestions, Delilah. All right, doing something similar. All right, Phantom wanted a hedge here. And then we are below the midline, so I'd expect a little pullback. If we go above 28.88, you know, expect bullish continuation. Let's go over BAT BTC. Let's chop. And this looks like straight up fib scenario, right? Fib 101. It is above the 61.8. It is below the 50. It's kind of an ascending channel, right? I mean, entry here on a tight stop, you know, 5% stop wouldn't be bad. Just like the intraday formation, I don't like it, where you have like, it's like a broadening. Price action is definitely broadening. There's this tight channel. I've seen BTC do that and then drop down. You know, with BTC being where it is, right, so close to the CME gap, at the long-term resistance, right, I wouldn't bet on like altcoins right now. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't until like, I wouldn't bet on altcoins until it rejects a 12.3 or a 16. I mean, if BTC goes on a rager right now, if we start breaking out, right, if this thing starts breaking out, you think alts are going to survive alt BTC pairs? I don't think so. I don't think so. If it goes to 17K, I mean, some alts might really take a hit. We saw what happened during this period, right? It was altcoin capitulation all the way up, and yeah, so I'd wait for like when a significant turn. Where are you at on BTC? Still 96.30. With USD, I mentioned it was a 61.8 yesterday. I didn't want to short it though. I mean, this looks like a freaking hell of a triangle, right? Or broadening wedge, whatever you want to call it. It's actually like a reverse triangle broadening wedge that broke out, right? Like this broke out on the daily. You should get a retest right at 208, right? I mean, let's zoom in. All right, maybe that's where this 208 is giving us more confidence. All right, and then if that breaks out, what do we know? All right, if it's above this 61.8, which is what BTC, this is comparative to like BTC being at 7,800 if you've been watching the streams, right? And then the next 61.8 is like 260. Right, and if it's not doing this 260 mark, then the next move is like 340, right? So can get violent from here, right? If you're just in that long and unhedged, probably hedge in case this thing fails because we're at a 61.8. But the odds are I think it's going to continue. Let's check ADX on that. It's already there. Man. ADX on the daily looks turning at a 20, right? And, you know, I like level 25. RBI on the daily looks pretty bullish. We've got that signal line bounced off KD. K's above D. Last time we saw this was down here, right? And back here. And KD are a lot higher, right? So if this goes in a quote-unquote oversold territory, sorry, overbought territory and stays there, that's when you get like the really stupid bull runs, right? Where KD goes through the roof and kind of stays up there, right? You get those extended parabolic runs. So, you know, that's a possibility as well. Should you wait to get in? So, you know, ETH kind of showed some force. I'm in ETH BTC. I signaled it 2 days ago on margin, right? So, you know, just because BTC might run, I'm seeing possibly like just as much upwards volatility out of ETH. Nothing to do with the BTC having, right? I mean, this is flat. I don't like the signal line being flat. That's the first time I see it this flat. Maybe back here. I mean, if you're hesitant on ETH BTC and you're happy with your profits, I signaled it yesterday or 2 days ago, then look at that. Now's my target for Ripple and March. That's wicked. So Ripple tends to have inverse correlation with BTC, especially XRP BTC. It is pinging in the buy zone, right? On Phantom. I don't think it's done this on the daily in a while. Okay, get out of the Binance chart. Bitrix. I mean, we might see upwards volatility. We might see further downside, right? I don't see a reason for Ripple to rally. But I mean, it hit my target from March, so it's pretty gnarly. All right. What else do we have? Any more questions? Comments? Concerns? Think my analysis is broken? You think BTC is bearish? Tell me why. If not, we're probably gonna wrap it up. Let's go back here. Let's do this. Even if we go up to like, you know, 10.2 with that before filling the gap, I still expect the gap to fill, right? That's why I wasn't like short the crap out of it until gap fill. More of my approach was, if you can get a good clean short, let's do it, and then flip long at gap, right? I mean, that's kind of been my play for last, you know, since the weekend. Taking the Phantom signals. Look at that. If you're not using Phantom, maybe you should look into it. Alright, OMG. That coin is still alive? What was the kid's name for OMG? I don't know, I've lost faith in a lot of these tokens, man. It's possibly flagging. It could probably run up like another 60% from here. That looks pretty bullish. 50%. It's still like the definite factor here is going to be getting above the midline. Right? If it can go above the midline, that's great. If it can't go above the midline, there's your sign. Do we offer a lifetime? We do. We do have a lifetime package for all the indicators. If you want to And you know, it's coded like in real time based on asset prices because it's paid in crypto. But get with me after the stream if that's something that you're interested in. But, you know, there's a little bit of a 3D here. I don't know how valid it is with having a lower low. But yeah, you know, if we get above that 1108, then we can see a rally continuation. But if we don't, then it's probably going to continue the downtrend. All right, back to the highlight of the stream, the highlight of May 2020. Right, I do think that if we get gap fill, or when we get gap fill, whoever longs it, right, is going to do fairly well, so long as volume comes in and price holds, right? And I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the real-time example of last time we did this before a big run. We kind of waited for it. Waited. All right, this is that 38.55 gap fill. Actually lower. You're not gonna be able to see the gap on these long-term charts, right? The 38.50, we long 38.55, and then it got sent. So if we're in for a parabolic move, right? I think it's only fair to treat this gap like the last one. Trading Junkie, yeah, you can contact even on Discord. You know, just reach out on Discord. All right, Fame Bam. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you set some alerts. I do have several alerts on all the Bitcoin charts, on BitMEX, on BTC1, which is CME, on Coinbase, for price getting close to gap fill, so I can try to signal it in time. You know, it might happen tonight, it might happen Thursday, it might happen next week. But when it does, if volume comes in reflexively, there's your sign. I think that's all I've got for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Probably gonna do another stream on Wednesday. And yeah, catch you guys on Discord. Trade safe.